Hi there, welcome to Yoga Physio Zone. I'm Sinead and today we're doing a little bit of a class for an achy lower back. So this class is not for you if you have severe back pain or if you're just in recovery from severe back pain. No, you need professional advice and probably individualized advice. So this is just for your routine achy lower back. Now maybe before you start, if you could stand up and do two things. First of all, you can kind of see me, just arch back and see if that feels good or not, because that's going to guide you in one of our exercises. And then just bend forward and see if that kind of is good for you or not. And maybe even mooching to the right and to the left and just seeing, okay, what part of me gets sore when I do what? Because what I want you to do is watch and see that you don't push into your pain. You can get a stretchy kind of, mild stretchy kind of pain that feels good. Like people say, yeah, that kind of hurts in a good way. Okay, so that's acceptable, but increasing your pain isn't, because you can aggravate things. Okay, so just see what exercises suit you, and if they don't suit you, just leave that particular exercise and go to the next one. This is just a very generalized class, so yeah, just watch out for yourself, keep way out of pain, and let's go. Alrighty, so come to lying on your back. Mooch yourself down. If you need a pillow under your head, get a pillow. No heroes, please. And just kind of mooch your shoulder blades down. And here you are, just coming to lie, maybe just adjusting your kind of pelvic or your bum position. And just lying, taking a moment. Let everything settle down. Maybe it's the first time you've been lying all day since you got up this morning. So let everything settle and just feeling how everything feels. And then just taking the right knee, just bend it up towards your hip. And then grabbing it either around the front of the knee or behind the knee, whatever works best for you. Just pull it towards your chest and just kind of like explore what it feels like to mooch around in little circles. Little circles. How is this feeling? Do I need to back off some of the circle because it's hurting? Can I keep my head on the ground? Just mooching around. And of course, if it's good for you, you can do nice big circles, that's fine. Just seeing what feels good. And then coming back to rest with that right leg. And let's bend up the left leg. So bending up the left leg, and there might be a side difference. We're going to do the same thing, just pulling that towards our chest. And again, just mooching around in little circles and seeing what actually feels good. What part of this do I need to avoid, if any, and what part feels good. So just seeing what you can do. Keep the back of your head either on the pillow or on the ground. Protects your neck. Lovely. And then, if it's possible for you, bringing the two knees up together and hugging them close, either in front of the knees or behind, whatever works. Back of the head still on the ground. Pull the knees towards your chest. And again, if this feels good, you can do a little rocking kind of motion where you bring your knees towards your chest and away. Okay, or you can mooch around in little circles, kind of giving your back a little bit of a massage. And if that feels good, you can do it in the two directions. You can go in one direction for a few circles, and then reverse and go the other way. Nice. Lovely. And then just bringing the knees back down. Keep your two legs zipped together once you get back down. So imagine there's a zip and it's kind of zipping between your ankles, your knees and your thighs. And then put your two hands behind your head like that. And you can just rest your elbows out wherever they go. If they go back onto the ground, fine. If you need to hold them up like that, that's fine too. And just adjust your shoulder blade position. And then roll your knees over to the right hand side, keeping the two legs zipped together. By keeping the two thighs together, you are kind of allowing a lengthening to happen between the elbow and the hip on the side that you're stretching out. Just allowing that to roll over, just seeing what that feels like, not going too far. Maybe just going to, before it starts to get difficult, and then just taking a deep breath at that point. Very nice. And then coming back. And then let's just do that to the other side. So now knees going to the left. And now we're stretching out the right. So as I was saying, if you keep the two legs zipped together, it really lengthens out the distance between your hip and your elbow on the side that you're stretching. And it kind of stretches out your waist area a little bit. So just play around with that one. And of course, with any of these exercises, if you really like it, just press the pause button and do a few more, okay? Alrighty, so we've done a little bit of rotation and we've done a little bit of flexion, and we are going to come over onto our tummy. Okay, so some backs like being flat on the ground and they like arching, and some backs don't. It might be enough for you. You might even need to put a small kind of a cushion or a roll in under your tummy. And sometimes just lying in this position is enough for you if your back is one of these backs that doesn't like to arch. Okay, so if you've got a facet joint problem or maybe a sacroiliac, just lying. And maybe you can choose to just lie in this position while the rest of us do other exercises, okay? So again, lying in this position with or without your lumbar roll. And then just seeing, can I lift my left leg up behind me? Keep your forehead on the ground. I'm just lifting mine because I'm talking to you. But just lifting that left leg and back down. Now if you can't lift the leg, don't worry. Even if you're just activating it towards a lift, that's fine. And number 2. And number 3. And back down. And then let's do the same with the right leg. So make the leg nice and tight first of all before you lift. If you start to get any cramps, just stop. Just leave this one out. Or maybe even just kind of activate but without lifting. You're still strengthening your lower back and your bum muscles, okay? Okie dokie, and coming back down. Alrighty. So again, only if your back likes to arch. I'm going to get you to come up on your forearms into a lovely Sphinx position. So you're on your forearms. You can kind of put them further out if that's what your flexibility allows, or you can bring them in if that feels good for your back. You may find by pressing into your pelvis and your front of your thighs that you get a little bit more length through your back. And look out and just mooch your shoulder blades down towards your back. So just bringing them down your back if you can. And just trying to breathe in this position. And coming back down. And we're going to turn this into a cobra, but we're going to put our hands out wide on each side. So we're up on our tippy fingers like this. And again, pressing to the ground with your pelvis and your thighs, and then just see about just whatever version of a lift that you can do comfortably. If your breath is going out of control, you're gone a little bit too far into the pose, so just go easy, because if just keep it to whatever level is good, because that level will improve if you do this class again. But be patient. Alrighty. And 3 is enough. And then pushing into your hands, bending your knees and coming back into child's pose. This is a great pose for most achy backs. You're just going to kind of sit back on your hunkers in whatever version that you can. Bring your hands forwards and bring your forehead onto the ground. Now, if you don't have a knee problem, you can play around with getting your bum right back down towards your heels. And you can even mooch your hips from left to right, kind of stretching out different aspects of your lower back. Keep your forehead on the ground. If you can't get back that far, don't worry. Just relax in that pose. Try not to feel the stretch at the back of your shoulders there. Try and adjust your arm position so you're feeling more stretch under there, if anything. And just rest here. And this is definitely one that if you want to press the pause button and hang out here for a while, please do so. It's a really nice pose when it's comfortable for you. It just is a great way of stretching out your back without stretching your sciatic nerve because your knees are bent. Lovely. That is child's pose. Coming up onto all fours. So when you're in all fours, put your weight on the base of your little finger and your thumb, that part of your hand, but particularly on the index finger and thumb, but you can put weight on the other kind of knuckles as well. Roll your arms around so that the creases are facing forwards, not out there, but you're rolling that way there. Okay, so we're going to do cat-cow. This is a great pose or routine. You're going to tuck your toes under, okay? And then we're going to do angry cat first of all. So you're going to look back towards your toes, lift your belly away from the mat and push into the mat with your hands as if you were trying to push the mat away from you. Arching your back like an angry cat. And then coming down, if you can keep your elbows straight, do drop your belly, stick your bum out behind you and look forwards and bring your shoulder blades down your back. Lots happening. So whatever version of this that you can do. Angry cat, look back towards your toes, lift your belly away from the mat, push into the mat with your hands, and then dropping the belly button, sticking the bum out behind you and looking forwards and bringing your shoulder blades down your back. So go up and down a few more times. And again, if this is one that you feel is really nice and comfortable for you, you can go back and do some more later. It's a great one. Really kind of gets the lower back, the pelvis, and the upper back, and it kind of works your arms as well. Keep your neck comfortable when you're doing this. Okay, a few more, and then we will come into our final pose. Lovely. And so coming out of that position and coming back to sitting. So just one more. This is pigeon pose. There's a few ways of going into this, but I think when you're not sure about your hips and your knees, this is the best way to come into it. So just sitting with your knees bent like I am here. Just going to move that out of the way. And so we are going to mooch over onto our left hand side, just sliding over a little bit. And then we're going to bring one leg behind us, or right leg behind us. There we go. Now you've got to be careful of your knee, your front knee in this position. So if your knee is sore, you might find that this is the extent of the pose you can do. It is stretching the outside of your left hip when you do this, okay? This is more like a deer pose. But see, can you mooch that other leg behind you and maybe adjust your knee position a little bit. Now the full extent of the pose is when you've got the other leg right behind and you're up kind of like this, okay? That may not be possible because if you have a sore knee, you need to stay over on your side while you're doing it. Some people rather this one on their forearms. So just see what you can manage. It's a really nice one because the bent leg is getting a very nice stretch to the outside of the thigh, which can be very good if you have a sciatic problem. But obviously, don't let it cause your sciatica. Again, a stretchy pain is good, a burny, tingly pain isn't, okay? So there you go. Seeing what you can manage, and it's a great one for the hip flexors on the leg that you have behind, which of course are really important for your body. So see how you go with this one here. And as I said, if you need to stay over here somewhere, you can't come into in front, that is fine. That is your version of the pose. It's all about finding your version of each pose. And of course, always keeping your knee comfortable in front. So your knee may not be able for the weight. So just see how you go. All right. But that is perfectly fine. Just a nice, comfortable kind of a a stretchy feeling is what you're looking for. No pain. Alrighty? And so let us bring that leg that's behind forwards. And here we are back in kind of a knee bent position. And then we can kind of just put the hands behind us. And let's do that on the other side. And again, going out onto the outside of the hip. Right leg forward here, bringing that other leg behind. And seeing what version of this you can do on this side. And there's bound to be side differences, okay? So you might find on one side you can have to be out here, and then on the other side you can come right into this fully extended position where you have the leg fully behind you and you have the knee fully bent in front of you. But that's, if you've got a sore back, it's probably unlikely that you'll be able to do that version of the pose just yet. So whatever version of this you can do is cool, alrighty? And then, as I said before, some people rather this on their forearms. So see what version of this feels good for you. And of course, if it doesn't feel good for you, leave this one out and come back to it at a later date. Okay, so that is the end of your little session for your lower back. Come to lie once more, knees bent, lying down, and maybe just give yourself a last little rest or any little stretches that you want to do. And if there was any of these exercises that you particularly liked or felt good, well then maybe just hone in on that one and just work on that. The main thing is when you do this, that you should feel better afterwards, not worse. And if you make sure that you don't push into pain, that should happen for you. So there you go, lower back stretches for an achy back. We'll talk again soon. Bye.